focus on the prisoner's dilemma, which is really, I'm going like this because that's the core element of the oligopoly chapter. And it's really about strategic behavior. I'm going to shift away from firms into more individual kinds of incentives, and then try at the end to get back to how it applies to the firm, types of firms. It goes something like this. I see a typing error in my notes. Good thing I haven't posted those yet. I'll fix it. In so many cop shows, the story of the prisoner's dilemma is shown. Criminals get arrested and are promptly placed in different rooms away from each other. Of course, why do they do that? Why do the cops do that? Each is told the other one is ratting. Not wanting to go to jail without a deal, each one actually does. You see, if you're in a separate room from somebody that you may be committed a crime with, if they blame you, they get to go free, and you get charged by the crime by yourself. On the other hand, if you blame them, then the same thing is true. So that's why it's the dilemma. Because if you both keep quiet and don't tell on each other, you could both go free. Or you might have to go to court and face the charges together and see what happens. So in my notes, I've put a hyperlink on there for a scene in LA Confidential in which Guy Pearce does exactly this with two people that were caught having a gun in their vehicle, which was related to a mass murder. I don't want to reveal too much of the movie. It's a great film. But they are doing something wrong. So that if you did, I got to give you some background for the clip to make sense. They're doing something very wrong, but the gun thing is not really related to what they're doing. So that's why they're kind of confused. But the scene is wonderful because it shows Guy Pearce using the feeling that the other person is ratting to get each one to talk. And ultimately, with a little help from Russell Crowe, which is a different kind of incentive structure, ultimately he gets them both to talk to get the information that he's looking for, even though it's not what he knew he was looking for. So you can check that out. So this is about prisoners, but just know this can be applied in a lot of spaces, okay? John Nash discovered it. It became a thing when he discovered his Nash equilibrium, and allegedly, according to the book, A Beautiful Mind, on which the movie is based, it was when he and his friends were interested in some group of girls in college. He started thinking strategically around that and won a Nobel Prize for his thinking. I have a link there of the scene depicting that. I don't love the scene. I always, from the first time I saw it, I read about it in the book actually too, but the book was better, of course. I saw this is pretty sexist, and also, I'm a guy. I've been around guys. That's pretty. It doesn't treat them very well either, but it gets the point across about the strategic thinking. So that's the main objective here. Examples of this also include externalities like pollution or litter. Externalities, you might remember, that's where you have a third party bearing a cost of a two-party transaction. So pollution is the go-to externality example. It's also been applied to the nuclear arms race, right? Each country wants to be weaponized, but as each country wants to be weaponized, you have a situation where the world is so weaponized that everyone's worse off. Could also be applied to hoarding during crises, such as the hoarding of toilet paper during coronavirus. So what does that have in common with two prisoners in separate rooms? Well, the thing is, if other people might do something that's going to set me back, it becomes a race for me to do it before they might, right? And then as everyone faces that same incentive structure, we're all set back, and the toilet paper shelf is empty. Or it could apply to wearing masks at the onset of coronavirus. So as soon as this stuff started happening, I actually thought of the prisoner's dilemma as a way to think about it. And I think my thinking has panned out pretty well. I mean, this isn't something that's very useful. It's not going to make me money. But I think it's worked pretty well in terms of like how this stuff is going. So And second thought, I'm just going to stop there with that background explained and then get into the model so I can piece this into smaller videos.